Hello, this is the Mini Drone S by Flyer-RC, number 668. It was sent to me by GearBest.com. It is a 4-channel quadcopter with a 6-axis gyro. It's a micro quadcopter. It's slightly larger than the CX-10 by Cheerson. It comes with 4 spare props, a charger, a transmitter. It's a micro one. It's very, very small, as you can see in comparison to my hand. The trim buttons are like the bumpers on a Xbox 360 controller. Not sure if I'm a huge fan of that. It has a flip button. It'll continue to do flips in whatever direction you choose while you hold the stick there until it either hits the ground or you release the stick and the beeping will stop. The trim button is right next to it on the right hand side. Medium, high rates, low rates. It has headless mode, so when you click the left thumbstick, the lights will begin flashing slowly, meaning that it's in headless mode. If they're flashing fast, that means it's at a low voltage, you need to land it. Once you click the thumbstick again, then the lights will go solid, back in normal flight mode. It's a really good quad in low rates. It's perfect for indoors or learning. Medium rates are for a little bit more advanced flying when you get comfortable with it, and some light winds outdoors. High rates are good for either a large space indoors or flying outside with some wind. I found the flips to work really well. This is probably one of the better flipping quads, and definitely this size that I've ever flown, because you can hold the stick in place and it keeps flipping over and over and over. I actually had multiple people comment on it because I took it to an indoor event recently, and they were all very impressed by this quad, by how it's locked in, how slow it can fly, how fast it can fly. It hovers pretty much hands off. And the lights, the LEDs are actually very bright. I mean, the camera I'm using has a flash on it, or a light on it, and you can see the LED still fairly clear with it. And it's actually pretty quick too for being so small. Usually the smaller ones are kind of slow, a little sluggish, but this one not so much. It's fast, it banks far in the turns if you have it in high rates. And then here's a size comparison between a Cheerson CX-10. As you can see, it is slightly larger, which I like about it. The CX-10 is a little small and a little too aggressive for my liking at its size. It just gets out of hand and out of range too quick. And I haven't had any range issues with this. I've taken it pretty far with the prop guards. Measures about 4.5 inches. And the CX-10 is no prop guards, but we'll measure blade tips, and you get 3.5 inches, if that. So, good micro size. The transmitter is very, very small. I can still fly it just fine with the stock remote. I've tried it with a few different transmitters, and I can't get it to bind to any of my others. I have a few WL Toys transmitters laying around, and it doesn't bind to any of them. But that's okay. Like I said, I can still fly it just fine without it. And I will actually add the footage that I got from the indoor event of this flying and flipping and crashing a little bit, just to show how it can fly. And I'll be doing another follow-up video later on as well of some aggressive flying, just so you can see how it handles outdoors. One final thought, and one thing I forgot to add: if you do crash this or go into carpet or anything that might have hair or anything in it, and this applies to anything like the CX-10 or any micro quad of this size with these tiny shafts, make sure there's no hair or string or anything wrapped around the shaft, or else it'll keep the blades from either spinning at all, or they'll spin at a lower rate, causing the quad to fly weird, and it'll burn out your motors a little faster. Also, if you want to disassemble this quad, you need to remove the 4 screws on the bottom, and it's a 3-piece, meaning there's the 2 shells and then the PCB board in the middle. My review and RC groups will have pictures of the internals of this quad. The battery is soldered to the board, so you won't be able to disconnect the battery and connect a new one quickly. I'm sure if you don't have problems modding things, you could probably drill out a hole here and solder on some connectors. But since it only takes about 20 to 30 minutes to charge the quad, at least those are the charge times I've seen, no reason to do that really. So if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments or in my form. You can post questions in that on RC groups. Thank you. She didn't want to drive with these bad roads. Yeah.
I don't know what to say, Dusty. I don't know what to say under this charging.
Yeah, just forever. Just unlimited rolls. And then you can even take it and just...
I don't know how you keep track of it.
It's the lights. The lights help a lot.
Yeah, the lights, but still you gotta connect your brain with the lights.
Yeah, you do. Oh.
Because it's just doing it so...
I'd have been after you.